And we are back. Well, man, it feels so good to be back. It always does. We are talking about the Division universe, and the focus is on the Division Heartland. Yeah, we got some new things coming out, some toys, I guess you can say. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Panthers Den. Kalikalau. Oh man, thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for retweeting and all that other awesome stuff you do, because it tells one squirrel to tell the other squirrel, and that's how we climb to world dominance. No, that's just how more people are able to see the content that I'm putting out. Hi. Maybe you don't know who I am. I'm the Dad Panther variety streamer, content creator, master of none, and you can catch me on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, streaming normally 4 times a week, various games. And we're talking the Division series. Okay, now if you've been with me since day one, the Division series has been my first love. You never forget your first love. Some of my first videos were on the Division, and man, we're playing the Division 2. You had Warlords of New York, and after that, you know, spoiler alert, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything just in case you haven't played it, but you know, you go through the end, and now right now you have basically recycled content. You have a XP system that allows you to add to your watch, and that kind of gives you the drive to keep going. You're in clans and things of that nature, so there's an XP grind there, and you're always chasing the perfect build if that is your thing, and any raid like items. But other than that, Ubisoft and Red Storm came out to give us the map of what Tom Clancy's The Division universe will behold for us. And if this is the first time here watching or listening more or less, I don't use graphics or visuals for the most part, because I want it to be smooth and easy. I want it not to take the data off your phone. I want you to be able to just throw it in your pocket or do whatever you're doing at work and have kind of like an AM FM podcast type of vibe. So I try not to use a script, and we just go through with it. Now, Tom Clancy's The Division universe, it came out as far as like I guess a roadmap is what they put out. Now, the interesting thing about this roadmap, as we get into the heart of it, which is Heartlands, no pun intended. Yeah, pun intended. They left out 2 things off this universe thing. Technically, I think 3. Now, as a casual video gamer, a casual Division 2 Division series fan, I could be missing something. Let me know in the comments. But you have the book, The Broken Dawn, right? And then you also have, there's a comic book, I believe there's a hard comic book that came out, and a survival booklet or book that came out. I think it's the same writer, Alex, that did the Broken Dawn, if I'm correct on the title. Why does it escape me all of a sudden? Those aren't on this roadmap, which is interesting, right? Now you're probably like, well, they're books, we're talking video games. But if you look on their roadmap towards the end talks about a novel, so a new novel coming out, and it talks about the Netflix film. The interesting thing about it is that's not the first novel for the Division series, and the Netflix film deal was tied up well before Warlords of New York even came out, that the information that Jake was going to play the lead, and some people think he's going to play Keener, and maybe a good Keener, go through training and then change into the Keener we all love and hate. Speculation. But I think it's interesting that that's not on the map if they don't want you to go back and see that, because I believe it ties to Heartland. Now, me living in the States, the Heartland, if you're not from the States, it's that middle section. Some would even say some of the areas are flyover states, but that middle section is what they're referring to, which would completely change the landscaping, but it also continue the story, if I'm correct, with the Division 2 towards the end, showcasing that this virus and the effects of the virus has affected not only New York and Washington, D.C., but other states, other countries. Now, the Heartland thing is interesting to me because the book Broken Dawn, if I'm saying the book correctly, it's going to be so ridiculous if I go through this whole thing and I'm mentioning the book the wrong way. So I'm just going to call it like, I'm not going to, whatever, we'll see what happens. But that book is where I really hope they take the storyline for Heartlands, right? So I hope they take Heartland and say, hey, look, we're going to do Heartland. We're taking it from this book, because it is such a good book. Go ahead and read it. I'm not going to spoil anything and tell you any details from it, but I feel like that book, the location of what that book is doing and the grittiness of that book would fit perfectly for this free-to-play game. Now, I feel like, hey, look, let me just do a video, put it out there, but they're going to start playtesting soon. As far as what they said, hey, look, playtesting, Red Storm is in on it. There's no shocker there. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments, but Red Storm, by, I guess, the contracts, whatever, Red Storm, I believe, was originally titled something different that I think came from the actual Tom Clancy thing, right? And Red Storm's sole purpose is to make sure that whatever games that are using the banner Tom Clancy's has to have a certain image, a certain look, a certain, it's like, hey, we want to make sure it not allowed to have the name, but it reps the name. I don't know how to put it any better than that. That's why you see, I believe you see Red Storm come onto a project and they leave to go to do another project, then they come back to a project and they leave. So I feel like any game that is Tom Clancy's, you're going to see Red Storm in it. So it's no surprise that Red Storm is involved in this one. And another reason why I'm happy that they're involved in this one is PvP players, they're due an update. They're due some love. As the Division 2 kind of went to the part where they're playing reruns at this point, a lot of other aspects of the game got big facelifts, got buffs, got new gear, got new modes and things of that nature to keep them preoccupied. But unfortunately, PvP from the start of the game and towards the end of it never got the love. Now, I did a video in the past that said, like, it was like 3 videos, a 3-part video. It was something along the lines of why we need another division, why we don't need another division, and do we need another division? Go check those out. I can't even remember what I said in those. But I'm saying, I'm like, man, why wouldn't we come up with a game that was just PvP focused? I mean, you have PUBG, you have Apex Legends, Fortnite, Call of Duty. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I'm like, it got me thinking, let me do a video on what I think Heartland's going to be. I think it takes place in something that looks like the Midwest. I'm not going to say any area because I don't want to spoil the book. Go read the book. But I think the game is going to have PVPVE. Okay. What is that? Maybe you don't know what that is. That is you playing against live division agents or rogues. I don't know how they're going to break it up, if they're going to make teams or whatever the case is. And you're also playing with NPCs. If you're curious, I mean, you've done it slightly already if you've gone into the dark zone. If you've gone in the dark zone and you got into a firefight and then the hyenas are behind you screwing things up, that's what that is. Why do it that way? I don't know. I just feel like that's the angle they're going to go. Why do I feel that way? Probably because I've recently been playing a game called Scavengers. Not paid to say Scavengers or talk about it, but Scavengers is a game that is so similar to the idea of what the Division is. It's like almost a glimpse of playing what this mode will be, other than playing the original Survivor from the first Division. Scavenger drops you as a team of 3, and 3 seems to be the sweet spot in most cases when you have power-ups and things of that nature when you're doing a battle royale style game. But Scavengers is, you drop into this area, you have to worry about the weather. If it's too cold, you'll die. Sounds familiar? Destiny has aspects like that on certain game modes, certain things you're doing for Pinnacle. Now, you'll play this game and you're like, hey, you know, what else do you do? Well, you have to collect these resources, and that's an element of PvE. You play as a team, but at some point the storm intensifies and it channels you into a direction so that everybody fights. Sounds familiar? That's basically every battle royale for the most part has that mechanism. And then at some point you're only allowed to have so many teams make it to this mothership. As this mothership takes off, and then you take the points you get plus the fact that you survived and you made it to the mothership, and that's how you get the win on the battle royale. That strategy is a little different. You can work together as a team and take out NPCs, or you can go ahead and attack the other teams who are trying to survive against the NPCs and the elements. It's really up to you. But at the end of it, you're all going to fight to the death, collect the other person's loot, and get the heck out of there. Even when you're crafting, you have the ability to craft and get better power-ups as you craft more things and find things as you're looting and you're shooting. I honestly think that's what Heartlands is going to be. It's going, and I believe this is what the Division series, as far as the game, has always wanted. If you remember the first trailer that came out for the Division, remember when it pans out from the actual in-game, or at least what we thought at the time, in-game engine, and pans out. That game, that map shows these red dots, and the red dots, you start hearing the comms of, you can hear more than one agent talking back and forth. And to me, it's always been to me that it was their intent for the whole map to be like the Dark Zone. So, I mean, take it for whatever you want, but that's what I think it is. Also, because it's going to be free to play, there's going to be a marketplace. Now, I mean, I'm hoping the marketplace doesn't have anything in it that you can play to win. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I feel like, again, with Ubisoft doing PvP and Red Storm for so long, they kind of know what, at least I like to think they would know what the PvP community wants. Now, no, I'm not PvP at all. I'm more of a PvE kind of person, but I'm fine with the Dark Zone. It doesn't bother me going in there, getting destroyed by somebody with headshots, or, you know, I'm really trying to put a skill out there and I'm just dead, you know, don't have the right build. But you got to give the people who are skilled at PvP their own playground to talk smack and just literally just be good at whatever it is they do, whether it's sniping, whether it's, you know, mid-range. And that's another thing when it comes to Heartland. The time to kill has to feel good. The firefight has to feel good. In my opinion, that this Heartland needs to have, the combat needs to be mid-range or long in consequences if you play close. Like now, if you're playing online, if you're doing PvP action in the Dark Zone, you're watching gun battles happen literally as far as the arm can stretch. That's where a gun battle's happening in majority, is because of the skills or whatnot. And I think it'd be really interesting if they added the element of, just not even element, just the whole basis of PvP first. Are there skills in this mode? Probably. Are they going to be cheesy? No. Why? Because the focus is PvP. You have to be able to shoot. You have to be able to figure it out. Like, you can't just go in there and fling out a hive, a stinger hive, and then hide behind a vehicle. I don't know. But I'm not here to talk, you know, that stuff. My thing is just, on as far as the Heartland is concerned, I want it to be survival. I wanted to have an element of PvP and an element of PvE, so that you're trying to make both parties happy. That's just what it is. Especially free to play, you want as many people to play this game as possible. And then I think you sprinkle on the element of PVPVE. Now, I don't know how you do it where it's not going to be annoying that you're in a firefight to try to extract gear to win, and now you're getting hit by an NPC that's messing stuff up. I don't know how that works. I don't know if it's something like Destiny, where when you achieve a certain thing in the public event, or maybe you knock the boss or the champion, and then what happens is the enemies just dissolve and disappear. I don't know if they just, hey, look, we got 4 teams fighting, only one team can get out of here, NPCs go home. And they just like literally put their head down, just walk and hide into an alley, and you're like, okay, this is just us. As far as the game, how it looks, I think it's got to be PC and next gen. I just think, I mean, at this point, the Division 1 and 2 series you can find on sale. you do next gen, I feel like you're able to start messing with the engine if this isn't the engine that they're going to use in the Division 3, because I believe we still get a Division 3. I just think, man, it'd be a perfect time to showcase that. But you know, now I'm thinking about it after I just said it. I mean, free to play, you want as many people to play. Maybe you keep this current gen and, you know, next gen patch type of thing, so you get more people to play. Now, I like the motion from, I put in the comments what it is. I can't describe what it is, but I like the motion of how the player moves in the first division and the speed of how they move in the second division, if that makes any sense, right? And I feel like it would be cool if there was, you know, different, like, I don't want to say crouching and prone, but different elements, like something like that, other than just cover to cover, would be interesting for this game. But in all honesty, I really just want it to be 100% PvP focused, even though, again, that's not my cup of tea. I just think it's better for the community. I think it's better for the gear, because I think if you start, even if you talk the next division, even if you talk the Division 2, the new content, I feel like if the PvP is set, the gear, the grind for the gear, and then you implement that into PvE, PvE never really complains about it. It's only when you take a PvP gun or a type of build and put it in PvP is when I think the issues arise. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it. Now, as far as the story, because they're saying, hey, look, if you've never played the Division, don't worry about it. I just think that means for as soon as you start the game, it's going to give you an epic trailer. It's going to give you like previously on the Division. Or it's just going to be standalone, but I think it's just going to give you just enough where you're going to be curious about this universe that they've created. It would be really, I'm saying, like, it'd be really good if they gave you, like I said, little nuggets of what that book had. I wouldn't use that whole story on that book, because again, you're doing battle royale, like how much story you're going to get out of it. I think when you look at what the story is going to be, you look at games like Apex Legends and Fortnite that have done a great job of telling you a linear story through what they call seasons. So you have seasons, you have your battle pass, and it's going to give you just a little bit. You already saw that in Warlords of New York of how they did on Division 2. So I believe it's there. I believe the opportunity to tell a story, bite-sized story, you can do that and make adjustments. I think you're going to get gear. I think you're going to get mask back in a big way with the mask. I don't know if it's because of what's going on in the world and the pandemic. You can't write this stuff, as far as how I believe the devs are saying behind closed doors. And I put my name on the list to do the, I guess the, I don't want to say demo. I can't even think right now. But every time Red Storm sends me an invite to do a playtest, there you go, playtesting, I can't do it because the timing is just, hi, Red Storm, if you could, when you guys keep sending me the play, you know, to do the playtesting, could we, like, I don't know, do a weekend only run? Because, like, I got adulting to do. Sincerely, the Dad Panther. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the game, but to be honest, my expectation on this game completely low. Completely low. I think it's gonna, I'm in my head, I'm saying it's gonna look exactly like the Division 2. The motion's gonna be a little bit different. I'm thinking survival, even though, disclaimer, never played survival. I own it, haven't played it. It just, I've been playing so many other games, haven't, just recently bought it because I wanted to play something different. Just haven't, I've been playing Destiny 2. Just started playing that for the first time. So, but I've been watching a lot of streamers play survival, so I know what happens in survival. I get what survival is. That's why I'm thinking in my head, it's got to be survival. It's the only thing that makes sense as far as trying to do a PvP type of thing. Now, whether or not the storm gives you damage or just does it just force you in an area, but there is no significant damage, I don't know. But man, the other thing about it is, and just I love leaving it here and finding out how it sounds like, you know, months, years from now. I really wanted the Division at the end, and there's still a possibility with the Division 2 continuing. I wanted it all to end, not like end like, okay, the Division is done. It'd be nice to kind of get, I guess, get closure on something like that, so you're not constantly going through the loop of the grind, I guess. But to end meaning something happens where the skills or something goes wrong, and you're forced to be in a situation that's similar to the Division 1, or something even worse than that, give or take how some of the novels are, or it's really a looter shooter survivalist type thing. I think that'd be cool. I know there's a trailer for another game. I can't remember. It's the day of something. I can't remember. You know what I'm talking about. And it's just something like that, to be like, hey, look, there's really no skills. We've lost all skills. Can you imagine that? Division 3, you've lost all skills. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, like I said, my expectation on it is graphics will be the exact same as Division 2. I think mask's going to play a big part in it, as they made some slight updates, and one of the focus things they kept talking about was the mask. I think they changed up some of the motion stuff, because some of the devs have mentioned months prior, they've just, nobody asked, they just came out and said, you know how hard it is to do a sneak attack, and they explain, you know, why sneak attacks weren't in the Division. I just feel like that's really interesting. And again, Red Storm being there and being the forefront, there's got to be a focus on PvP. Man, well, you could have been anywhere in the world, and you were here on this TED Talk about the Division and the Division universe, what Tom Clancy has given us. We've got a mobile game that's coming up. We've got the Netflix film. We got another novel. They didn't put the other novels on here. And then we got some new stuff coming up later on for the Division 2. But it's just interesting. This game is going to come out pretty soon. Well, now I'll be able to find out if I was right on any of this. So I'm just going to put this out there in the universe. So anyways, could have been anywhere in the world and you're here, and I greatly appreciate that. To all the cool cats subscribing, liking, commenting, posting, reposting, there for the streams. Appreciate you. Until next time, Kalika-lika-lao.